You know how sometimes there's books that you just read and they're fun and you just, forget about them afterwards. And then there's some books that just resonate on such a deeper level that days later you are still thinking about them, and actually it makes reviewing them harder than if you hadn't liked it or had enjoyed it but it was forgettable. That is my experience right now with Wild Crush by Kacey Shea. It's performed in dual by Erin, Mallon and Robert Hatchet. I love this book so much. I mean, there are videos of me talking about it as I'm like listening. There's also one where I'm in like floods of tears. We know how that went. This book is one of my favourite books of the year. I just connected with this so much. I don't know if it's because the heroine Maeve is a single parent and I'm a single parent. There are certain things that happen throughout that I can also resonate with. There was a lot there. And trying to be as vague as possible since the book's not out yet. But this story is just beautiful. So you have Maeve, who we have met before in the previous 3 Wilder Ranch books as the sister. So we have met her husband Alex and their children. We've also met her best friend Raina, and so I knew going in this was going to be unrequited love, friends to lovers, and I was here for it. And of course we knew there was going to be some single parent happening since she was married in the previous ones. So I was excited. I started listening and like moments in, like the first chapter, I was like, nope, there is a video out there where I'm just like, divorce his ass, like, get him gone. I was ready for him to go. And that never changed. But watching Maeve and Raina navigate her being a single parent, him being there to support her, whilst having these romantic feelings for her, but masking them so well that she just thinks he's her friend. And he is her friend, there's no doubt about it. There's no ulterior motive from his part. He is there to support her in whatever she needs. And I think it's really interesting how Kacey wrote Raina, because there's that line, right, where a guy is so perfect and doing so much for the heroine that it can be seen as he's being taken advantage of, that he's not got the backbone that you would want. But actually the way it's written, you can see it is just his genuine love for her and that friendship and wanting to support her. And when push comes to shove, he is able to not only set a boundary but maintain it for his own self. And I loved that, and I thought the way it was handled was brilliantly. So we have Maeve, who is trying to figure out who she is, and I really feel like this is the big difference between Alex and Raina. Alex is very much, you are my wife, you are a mother, you are the homemaker. This is your job. Nothing you do outside of this should matter. And so he really stifles her and doesn't give her space to breathe and to figure out who she is outside of those roles. Where Raina gives her that space to just be and figure things out. He's supportive, but he never steers her one way or the other. It's always reverting back to, what do you want? What is best for you? And I loved that she was given space to do that. I did a video on this where I was like, there has to be a fault somewhere with this guy. Like, nobody's this perfect. He is this perfect. And Kacey said it best, where she was like, he is the man that every woman deserves. And I especially think that resonates with people that have had a marriage breakdown, where everything, you know, kind of falls to them when it comes to children, and children take up so much of your life that you can kind of forget that you're a whole ass person as well. And what I loved with Raina is he was so intuitive of what her needs were, that he did them without request and without needing praise or acknowledgement of what he's done. It's not like, hey, look, I did all the laundry, where's my parade today? You know? And I just loved it. Now switching to narration, Erin Mallon, look, hands up, I am biased, I love Erin, but in this role, perfection. And it's why I love her so much, because you could really feel that vulnerability and unsurety about what was going on with Maeve's life through the performance. Add in Rob Hatchet. I think this is my favourite Rob book. The way he performed that longing, seriously. And it's funny because I'm usually very careful, I try to be, where nothing a character says or does is the person that's performing them. It's always the character, right? Raina did this, Raina said this. Like, having that boundary, because we know those boundaries can get a bit messy, and so I tried to model that. Yeah, there was a scene in this book where I was like, screw you, Rob Hatchet, screw you, while I had tears streaming down my face. And that is because, yes, the character was having this scene, yes, Kacey wrote this scene, and it was a heavily charged emotional scene, but the performance that Rob gave elevated that to such a level that I had such a visceral emotional reaction to it. I mean, I've cried before, like, there's videos of me crying, but to that extent, I was done for. I was done for. But again, that just goes to the talent. I think Rob and Erin paired together was genius, and we need more. We need more Erin and Rob together. It was fan-freaking-tastic. Production was great. Just quickly, content warnings. If you've read the other 3 books, you'll know that Maeve's father has dementia. There are scenes relating to that in this book, so just be aware if that is something that's difficult for you. And the next one is, I've spoken to 3 different people and we've all had different feelings on it. So I'm going to just give a warning for domestic abuse. Some people feel that it is domestic abuse, some people feel that it isn't, and some people feel like it could go either way. So if that is something that you know is a trigger for you, please let me know. We can message and I can give you more details so that you can make the best decision for you, so that you are in the right mindset to go in. But I can't say enough, I love this book so much. When it was over, I was like, no, it can't be over. No, I need more. I even had a whole scene in my mind with a song